you guys have not been shy about saying what the goal is to win a championship. Now, some teams I've seen in you guys' position might be like, we're not going to make that public. We're not going to discuss that. Why have you guys maybe gone the other route and made that clear that this is something you guys want to accomplish this year?
I mean, I think every team in the NBA wants to win a championship. Not talking about it isn't going to make it easier. And it's not going to, diminish what you're doing and what you're building if you don't win a championship. So I applaud our guys for talking about it. I don't talk about it as much just because I'm always focused on the day in, day out task of building our program, getting better, and moving towards that. That's the mission stuff we talk about, but it's what we want as a team. It's what we want as an organization. We came up short last year and we still hurt. And when something hurts you, you talk about it. And so I think that's probably what our guys are, chasing. And I think that's a good thing.
Okay. You guys have been able to, play through distraction from whether it's injuries, whether it's COVID, whether it's the investigation, whatever it is, you found a way to continue to win through that. Why?
Our players and our staff. The gym never stops popping. And our guys, they love to hoop, they love to compete, and the gym is always like this. And we've always said that we're not going to let wins or losses or anything affect the gym. And whether it's COVID or whatever is going on, that was something that we started 3 years ago when we first got here, and the guys bought in. Book, Mikhail, D.A., Cam, Frank, Dario, the guys we started with, they were like, we got you, coach. And I think that's helped us. And then we brought in guys that love to compete, they love to play, and they want to win. And so I think that helps. And our staff is just phenomenal. I mean, there's not a day when the gym's not popping. And I think that creates a safe place for your guys to come work, and they're excited to come here, and obviously winning helps.
Okay. You were on the panel for the 15 greatest NBA coaches, voting panel.
Say that again?
You were on the voting panel for the NBA 15 greatest coaches. What was your, quote, criteria, or what were you looking at when you were making the choices? What were you thinking, okay, this guy is this because of that, or what was your criteria?
I mean, one, you look at wins and championships, so that's two, I should say. The guys who were able to have that, a number of wins and a number of championships, I thought they should be on the list. And then if they didn't fit that criteria, I thought maybe wins and longevity. The other thing that I think about is guys who innovated and changed the game. The D'Antonis, the Adelmans, Don Nelsons, those guys, even though they may not have won a championship, they did things that absolutely changed the game and still allow for us to play the way that we're playing today. There's always going to be a coach or two or three left off that everybody complains about, or somebody on it that they complain about. It doesn't bother me at all. I text Spo and Steve and congratulated those two guys because I'm on the USA team with those two guys, and again, I'm like the straggler of the group. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, these two guys are top 15 of all time, and I'm pulling up the rear. I might not even be in the bottom 100. And so I just thought it was pretty hilarious. And both of them, they hate that attention. They just want to coach and do their job. And I told them both, I'm like, it beats the alternative, brother. Be happy you're on the list.
But when you look at that list, obviously Pop and Doc, two guys that heavily influenced you. But when I talk to a younger coach and mention your name, it's like they just light up. They're like, Monty's that guy. Monty this, Monty that. So in a way, they're kind of looking at you with the same kind of admiration that you might have been looking at Pop and Doc. How do you take that in? Because it ain't like you a guy that wants to be out there in terms of getting all this attention either.
No, I mean, I think for me, to have younger coaches look at me like that is pretty cool, but I think it's your responsibility to pay it forward. You know, I was given a ton to get in this position. I had guys like Greg Popovich, R.C. Buford, Doc Rivers, Nate McMillan step up and say, I got you. And they poured into me in ways that I can't even explain. And if I have anything to give, whether it's through my failures or things that I may have done well, I want to be able to give that to the next generation of coaches, because one, it's the right thing to do, and two, that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what was done for me. And so I try to teach, and I've said this before, I try to teach through my failures and mistakes. I spend a lot of time telling guys what they should do as far as running a program. I just explain to them, man, if I could do it over again, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. And I think being vulnerable in those situations helps guys. Because a lot of times you'll tell a guy about a mistake you made, and then they're thinking like, I already did that,
right,
and they don't feel as lonely.
Right.
Because coaching is lonely. It's probably the most lonely I've ever been in my life, is being a head coach. And I think it's important that we all stick together and be there for one another through those lonely times. And so if I can impart anything to help a younger coach, head or assistant, video, doesn't matter. Like, I think that's the obligation we have when you're in this position.